Welcome back to the Lunch Table Food for Thought. I'm Nico. Blitz. Subscribe, like, comment, rate because it really helps us out, man. We still rolling. We're also on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud and the iHeartRadio app. You feel me? Because your boy is a iHeart employee, so I just have to plug that too. My next guest, though, she actually found me because of my interview with the boy Daz Rinko out in Memphis. It's kind of crazy knowing the amount of people that you just meet throughout your lifetime. You don't know who's gonna connect you. Shout out to Sandra, of course. We went to college together, and now she's over in the East Coast. She introduced me to this girl hailing from Hershey, Pennsylvania. My mind is still fucked up right now. Pennsylvania. R&B singer. She goes by the name of Bri Marie. Bri was popping home, girl.
Hello, how are you? And it's okay because a lot of people don't be fucking with Pennsylvania like that anyway, so it's fine.
It's very small.
Can I swear? Is that allowed to do that? Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
It's a small-ass state, huh?
Not only is it small, it's just, I feel like a lot of people don't pay attention to the big, states and cities. Even though Hershey's like the chocolate and stuff. People should know what it is, but they don't.
That's where Hershey's was made?
Yeah, not made, but that's like the main corporation, I guess.
Like where the factory is or something?
Where the Hershey Park and the factory. And
there's a Hershey Park?
Yes. You've never heard of Hershey
No,
Park
I've
before?
never heard of that.
It's basically like a bum Dorney Park. Oh, let me stop. It's like Dorney Park, but just with like chocolate themed things, essentially.
So I'm assuming you've been there before.
Yeah. I live like 10 minutes away from it. So yes, I've worked at Chocolate World, that was my first job. I worked there for 3 years, and yeah, it's Chocolate World.
So I'm imagining this world you walk into. There's like chocolate fountains, chocolate waterfalls.
No, it's not that nice. That would be nice. They definitely should do that. No, but essentially like there's a 4D tour in there for kids. It's another tourist attraction. They have a huge store with all of the types of chocolate, different types of kisses. There's a ride that shows you how the chocolate's made.
Yeah.
And, it's cute. But it's...
Okay, so do they have anything for the white chocolate, like the Oreo? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have everything. They have Twizzlers that are like feet long.
What?
And they have like 2-pound Reese's peanut butter cups and everything. Yeah.
See, I couldn't be on the Reese's peanut butter.
See, I should have got you some.
Well, I'm allergic to Reese's peanut butter cups.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're not missing out. But still.
I don't know, because out here, all we have is, we have like the Legoland, Jelly Belly Factory.
That's fire. Jelly Belly Factory.
Yeah?
I definitely would like to go there.
Do you have like a huge sweet tooth growing up around all that?
I did have a huge sweet tooth. My father has a really huge sweet tooth. And I think it's been refined since I've been trying to be a better person, like health-wise. But yeah, definitely. But it wasn't even Hershey stuff that I liked. Like Sour Patch Kids were my thing. And not really much chocolate. But now like wine is like my sweet that I indulge in.
Did you have like braces growing up?
I didn't. No.
How?
What do you mean how?
Well, because you being surrounded by all this like
You're right.
goodness.
Blessed. I'm honestly blessed. Honestly. Like my mom, like I didn't even have cavities, knock on wood.
Hey, neither did I.
See? There you go.
There
no
go.
cavity crew.
No, it was weird because growing up, I had braces, and then my orthodontist said, okay, you're going to have braces for about like 3 years. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, bet. What can I do to prevent me from having braces for even longer? Right. She said, don't eat candy, don't eat hard stuff. I'm like, all right, bet. I got it out. My sophomore year, I took a photo without braces. Mm-hmm. And then right before junior year started, my braces were already off.
That's crazy.
So my school photos looked like I just had perfect teeth.
That is crazy. I mean, it sucks because you like to indulge every once in a while, but it's not worth it at this point. Like I said, I love wine. I love gelato. That's the one that I'm... Gelato.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you obviously love boba, too. You said this was like your third cup?
Listen, yes, I had... I just, when I came here, this is my second time in Cali.
Okay.
But I was here like 4 years ago, and my friends showed me around, but I'm like, okay, this time I'm going to show myself to new things. I had boba probably a month ago, and I was obsessed. So I came here. Uber Eats hooked me up with Mr. Boba. Shout out Mr. Boba. They gave me
the easy plug.
Yeah, they're not paying me for that. But whatever. So this was like Hawaiian coffee
Okay.
with boba. This is like an avocado power drink. I don't know what that means. And then there was an horchata one with boba.
See, I'd fuck with the horchata one for sure.
It was so good. Oh my gosh. The reason why I got that is because the first time I was here, there's some bar called Tequila.
Okay.
And they have this thing called a henchata. And it's like horchata with henny in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm telling you. We should go. It's lit. It's really lit.
I'm actually down to go this
Okay,
weekend.
let's go. But I'm also
henchata.
trying to get that douce chata. I'm going to try to see if they can
What's
substitute.
a douce chata?
With douce. I just made it up, honestly. Yeah, with douce.
So they're over there just like making shit up.
I just
that place
made that
called
up.
Tequila?
Yeah, Tequila. It's T-E Kila.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Put
We over
that
here
on like
talking-
the
we
to go.
talking-
Hey man, we talk about food all day.
Yeah,
I ain't
I'm
tripping.
here. Listen.
Bri Marie. So growing up around like all the Hershey sweets, Sour
Sweetest
Patches,
place
and all
on
that.
earth, or
How
whatever.
else was growing up in Pennsylvania or Hershey?
It was, it was cool. It's like, suburb type thing. But I would say overall, it was a little difficult trying to choose to be like an artist
Why?
coming from that place. Because I don't know if you ever heard like small town mentality,
Yeah.
but it's like a lot of people don't see past regular 9-to-5 jobs over there. They're like, I'm going to go to college and just get a job right out of college and just do that. And I was going to do that. I really like tricked myself into believing that I couldn't do it because nobody else around me was.
Yeah.
And everybody made me look crazy for wanting to be an artist. So my first semester of college, I did try theater and performance, and I hated it. Then I was a lit major because I was like, I've always wanted to be an English teacher. But again, it wasn't me. And then that's, I guess, like a year after that is when I decided to come to New York. Well, go to New York, sorry.
Yeah.
And when I went to New York, I went to this school called SUNY Purchase. And I went there for lit at first. That's how I got in. But then I realized, like, wow, like everyone is pursuing their dreams. It was such a breath of fresh air. And one of my friends, Dave, shout out Dave Langston, he's actually a rapper too. He heard me sing and he was like, no, like you need to be singing. Got me in the studio. And I recorded some trash songs at first. But like literally like 6 months after that, I had a vision of a project and I started working on it. And, that's when beginnings came to fruition.
What year was that? 2016?
2016, yeah. And right before that, I was working as a marketing coordinator for a small record label, which was cool. It was really great. But when it came down to it, I felt like I was putting all of my energy into other people and other artists when I felt like I needed to be doing it for myself.
Yeah, for sure.
So quit in September, just out of nowhere. They were really surprised. Quit in September, started working, dropped my first song that month, and then dropped the project.
Damn.
Yeah. I was a super baby. There was no organization to it at all, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
You're kind of just like going with the wind at that point.
Yeah, right. As an artist, like it's hard to really think about anything else but what you love and just getting it out there.
It's interesting how, earlier you said you were kind of not doing what you wanted to do, even in terms of like the theater arts and even being like a lit major. But I kind of see both of those as kind of linked together towards being an artist, because like theater arts is definitely the performance aspect, whereas
and I was in
literature.
musicals and stuff too. That's why I like chose to do that first. But
were you in musicals like in college or prior?
no, high school.
High school. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you like the lead?
All right, let's talk about this. All right, so I was never the lead. My senior year, I kind of was, but it was because they felt like I fit the part of like the supporting lead the most because she was this rambunctious, she was a hoe, but she was funny and she was rambunctious, and I guess that's how they took me, but...
Those like subtle shots, if
Nah,
anything.
I mean, no, it was cool because I feel like I did execute it well.
Okay.
And at first, it kind of hurt me. I'm like, I worked so hard at this, and the girl that was the lead, shout out to Olivia. She turned it into like a competition, and I'm like, I'm not even trying to compete. But then when I look back at it, I'm like, no, like she just respected me and she knew that I was her competition.
Yeah.
So even thinking about that, I'm like, okay, so people do realize it's just it's hard to see in the moment sometimes how much you're worth when stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
I was also a child.
Well, I mean, even thinking as a kid, right? When I was growing up playing basketball, my parents always told me, like, yo, as soon as you get the ball, just shoot. It's like, no, I mean, like, that's not the point.
Right.
The point is, like, making it a team effort. And I think, like, when you are in high school or even, like, around that age, it doesn't dawn on you that you don't always have to be, like, the star to make the overall production better.
And I almost felt like for a minute I was, like, the underdog in, like, everything. Like, I was always, like, not second place, but I always felt like there was somebody above me that got the recognition that I felt like I could have gotten.
Oh, yeah.
However, at the end of the day, it didn't matter because people still respected me. People still knew the capabilities that I had.
Yeah.
Now, however, I'm not trying to be the underdog, but...
Yeah.
Having that mentality and getting that strength and knowing how to work under pressure and not always being the best, like, I think it's helped a lot.
Well, I think everyone's idea of being the best is always being the star, but then I don't think people end up, like, owning their role as much as they could be,
right.
you know?
Right. And that's something I think about a lot. It's not about being the best, especially in this music industry, because who's the best? Like, it's really all perception. Like, you know, some person could think Beyonce's the best, and then somebody else is like, oh, you're bugging, Rihanna's the best. Like, it's all about perception, but what really counts is how are you different? Like, or how can you reach out to people? Like, what's your impact? So that's what I kind of work on. It's difficult, especially being a light-skinned whisperer in this business. But, you know, even with, I don't have, like, a lot of followers yet. I don't have, like, a whole bunch of listens, but the people that have heard it, the people that do reach out, they do let me know that I've made a difference.
Yeah.
And that means something to me.
Well, what kind of difference have you been making in terms of, like, what they've been telling you?
I would say it's just teaching me to be a little less unapologetic. I mean, it's teaching me how to be unapologetic. Because, you know, I dropped I See in You. And that's, like, super trap. Like,
I love that
was
video,
just
by the way.
talking so much shit. Yeah, shout out to Lauren. Shout out to Steven Salgado. Like, the team, like, really brought the whole vision together. It was great. But, you know, it was different than what I do. You know, I'm, like, R&B type stuff. I'm versatile, but people like the sexy stuff for me.
Yeah.
And I was scared to drop that because I didn't think that people were going to like it as much. But, you know, people still reach out, and they're like, you know, like, this song really touched me. Like, I was super relatable. And when I wrote it, I was not trying to be super relatable. I was just speaking from the heart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as long as I do that, even if people don't like one song or the style of something else, like, the words and how I portray it will touch somebody.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think what I was getting from watching the music video, I literally just watched it maybe like an hour ago.
Yeah.
And if you guys just see the cover, it's Bri basically just like on a bed, just. And I'm over here, just, you know, just like as a male, I'm just like, okay, what is this? Let me click. But you know, on the flip side, what you end up doing in the video is you have your two girls tie up dude on the bed, and you're basically taking advantage of him like the entire time up until the end where he cuts off his little things.
Yeah, it was a sheet.
A sheet, which I was like, this guy's pretty fucking like ripped. I don't know why he doesn't just like, you know, just like Hulk it out.
Right.
But to me, you know, I was looking at the entire video and I was like, wow. A lot, like 9 times out of 10, men are usually portrayed on the other side where they would tie up a woman and they would take advantage. But like, to me, it was kind of like empowering for a woman to see them like, oh, fuck, well, a woman can also be like this too.
Right. Yeah. I actually, my inspiration behind that video was, you watch Fresh Prince?
Yeah.
It was the episode where Nia Long took him up to the cabin and tied him up.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then she brought like all her sorority girls.
Yeah. She was like, as soon as she tied him up, she locked the door and she started acting fucking ballistic. And there was, it's funny because I was going to put a sound clip from that episode into the beginning of the song, but it just never worked out.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, oh, I just want to look pretty for you. And like, she like puts on the lipstick how I did in the video, but like she puts it all over her face. Yeah. I didn't do all that, but that was the inspiration. And also, like, I guess my inspiration behind a lot of stuff that I make recently, it linked to that. It's kind of like, yeah, it's, like, sexual, but it's also empowering. Like, I don't I don't care to be submissive or just known as like a sex symbol. Like, the point is, like, this guy, he messed up and he, you know, got what he deserved. And even at the end, when he gets out of his thing, he pushes me down. It also shows at the end where me and my girls are watching the video as if, you know, he didn't escape. He didn't get on top at the end. So, yeah.
Yeah, because then that second portion wasn't necessarily filmed. It was just like through the lens. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. And I think a lot of, well, I mean, speaking for like men, a lot of men would see that type of video and, you know, probably see the other side in which it's not necessarily empowering for women. Like, I feel like a lot of men would still see that and be like, oh, well, she's a hoe.
Right. I mean, that's another thing that I'm kind of fighting for right now is that regardless of what I do, people's opinion of people thinking that they're a hoe or making somebody feel inferior for their actions when it's really none of your business is not your problem.
Yeah.
So if somebody has something to say about it, you can. I don't care. Like, it's not my job to care about your feelings. Given I do care about, you know, the people that I care about. I really care about women and women's empowerment. I think as long as there are good intentions behind whatever you do, then that's all that matters.
Amen to that. Fuck with that a lot.
Yeah.
We talk about a lot of women empowerment here on the lunch table.
Yeah, good.
You know, especially with March coming up too, when it's like Women's Appreciation Month, because no matter how many times I talk about it, it just seems like people just don't understand that, like the word's not double entendre. Double standard. Double standard. See, you can tell my mind is still like working right now.
Yeah, it's cool.
But like the double standard is that, like, if a guy acted like that, it's perfectly fine. It's normal shit. And to me, it's like I don't really see that, because I'm more of a dude who really likes to, I guess, be more intimate before we get to that level,
right.
Or like, you know, like really seek passion before that type of shit goes down. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to take a while before a lot of people can really understand that a woman can be like that, too.
And I don't even think it's just about sex. I just think it's the fact that men think that they have control and say over what women do to their standard. Like, I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up.
Do it.
Okay, like, I posted this picture on Instagram. Don't go on my Instagram. It was kind of like my resurgence almost. And I posted a picture, and it was in lingerie, and my ass is out, and I did it to prove a point. And
this one?
Yes, that one. First of all, that's not even bad. It's on with the Android, and the lighting was bad. Like, it's not even deep, right? But, oh my gosh, so many people came in my DMs like, oh, Bri, you don't have to do this. Oh, you sold your soul. Oh, you did this. Like, you're too talented to be doing stuff. And too talented to be doing what? I literally have spent my entire life being insecure and not loving my body, not liking myself. Now I'm in a position where I feel like, yes, I love myself. I feel like I look great. And maybe I'm trying to get that Fenty bag next year. Like, maybe I'm trying to secure something before I don't have this anymore. So, like, for you to come to me unsolicited and tell me that you think I shouldn't do this, or you think I'm selling my soul, I sold out, I did this and that, why? Like, why? What am I doing? Did you lose respect for me just now?
Yeah.
Or do you don't want to wife me? Like, you don't want to, I don't care. I don't care. If you don't, it's not about that. Like, you know me as a person and you respect me as a person. So for you to place that much value in a photo says more about you than it says about me. I'm sorry. What?
I like that.
Like, what?
It's not for the people in the back one time, you feel me? I really like that.
And I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm a bully to guys, at least now, unfortunately. Just because I'm tired. I'm so tired. Like, I was in 2 like super long relationships, and I've settled for, I'm not going to say I settled. Like, I was just living for other people my entire life. So now I'm like this free spirit. Like, I just do whatever I want, and like, some people can't handle that. That doesn't make me a hoe. It doesn't make me a bad person, because I'm still a great person.
Yeah.
I'm just selective as to who I give my energy to, and I'm not holding back anything.
I totally agree, and I think that it goes back to the fact that it's all based off intention. Your intention in that photo alone isn't to just attract. It's not to attract men.
Yeah,
It's to make
yeah.
you. As you said, it was like a moment in which you felt like you were really comfortable with your body, and you just want to tell everybody, like, "Yo, I'm comfortable being myself."
And I think I want to be an advocate for girls like me who I literally didn't even like myself until probably like 3 years ago, just because of
Was it because of the
learning
relationships, or like?
not even just the relationships. My mom like wasn't always the most secure person. It's just learned behavior essentially, but I'm breaking it. And I feel like I want to be an inspiration, not for people to just post pictures, but to be happy with themselves regardless. I'm not perfect. There are people that probably don't like how I look, but as long as I do, as long as I love myself, and as long as I have good intentions, I'm not posting this to get dick. I'm that's not it. I don't care to do that, and I'm not posting it so people can marvel over me. It's just to somebody's gonna see that and be like, wow, or maybe I even knew her a few years ago and she wasn't like this, and now she is. That gives me hope I can fight through whatever I have to get through. That might be going too deep into it, but you feel me.
No, I do feel you.
Yeah.
That's some real shit. Because I think even right now with the climate of the amount of Instagram models that are popping off right now, I think a lot of guys still see that as oh, well, I mean, she's not even that pretty. I have a couple Instagram model friends. They're oh, your homegirl's not even that pretty. It's bro, first of all, why are you telling me? Second of all, it's that's not the point. I kind of see all these Instagram models as okay, for one, they're comfortable with their own body, and for two, they're able to monetize off of you motherfuckers who are just willing to drool over them.
Exactly. I was so pissed because this dude came at me and literally in his Instagram story, he has pictures of Rihanna and pictures of other models and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, put me in it then. I'm not trying to put myself in that position, but I'm like, what are you saying? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me. But men. No offense.
It's all good. None taken. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Coming from a man's perspective.
You don't seem like that though. Yeah, you don't seem like that though. It's okay. It's okay.
I can't help but notice your necklace though. What's on your necklace?
Gratitude. Super blessed.
See, I wear this every single day for my reasons. What are your reasons for wearing gratitude?
I mean, I feel like it's almost like a manifestation. I've been wearing and just doing and thinking a lot of different thoughts to kind of manifest things in my life. And I just always want to constantly be reminded that I'm super thankful. This year, even alone in these, it's only been a month?
Yeah.
It's been amazing. It's been so amazing. And as long as I'm thankful for everything, blessings are just going to keep coming.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What have you been, thankful for this past month?
Opportunities, coming here. Thank you.
Yay!
Just everything. And my mentality is so much different. Last year, or even I would say 2 years ago, when I graduated from school, I moved back to Pennsylvania from New York. And I was it was post, grad depression, and I was dealing with a lot of stuff, and I was just home, back to that small town mentality. Everybody around me, everywhere I was, oh, what do you do? Oh, I sing. Oh, aren't there other people? Do you isn't it really hard?
In the shower?
No. I'm like, no, I am a singer. I'm an artist. I have music out. Yeah, I might not be making a whole bunch of money on it or whatever, but I am an artist, and people didn't understand that. And what I've been learning is just that's them. That's not me. And it's not my job to conform to their thoughts. But again, 2 years ago, I was not making any moves for music because I was just in my bag, but not in a good bag, in a just bad, unproductive bag. And I was just working my server job, trying to think about music, but not in the right way, and I just wasn't happy.
So then how'd you break out of the small town mentality of I'm just going to work this 9 to 5 and hopefully something is going to come my way?
I think it was just a shift of energy. I wouldn't spend all of myself at this brainless job, and when I get off of work, I'm not oh, I'm so tired, I'm not going to do anything for music. It was to the point at some time where money was more important than this. So I was working 6 days a week and I wouldn't get anything done. That money, where is that money now? Like, I don't have it. But, like, you know, I cut back my days at work. I started, you know, really getting into my spirituality, and just practicing more, just being in my element more, working on my craft more, as opposed to working for the man.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, but just being thankful of my situation, regardless of what it is. At first, the reason why things were moving slow is because I hated where I was. But once I started to be like, okay, this sucks maybe for right now, but I need to embrace it. And I need to get as much as I can out of this situation before I lose out time and I don't even, I'm living in the future or the past and I'm not living right here. So
I think a lot of people, you know, when like the phrase, when you're having fun, time goes by faster. I think that unproductive people or like unfulfilled people, they see a year and they're just like, fuck, it's another year.
yeah.
But then I think people who are productive and people who are actually in their field of what they want to do, they see another year as like, oh shit, there's not enough time.
Right.
Like how much can we actually get done within this next year?
And I mean, that's such a beautiful feeling. So much more than what I was dealing with, because I skimmed through the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And
I've always wanted to read that.
I mean, I didn't agree with some of the stuff he was saying, but, you know, there were a lot of things. And he had said something along the lines of, there are always going to be problems. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter how easy or hard your life is, there will always be obstacles. But which ones are you going to fight for? And when I started thinking about it like that, I'm like, music is what I love, period. So I'm not going to be out here stressing out, because I know that regardless, I'm here for a reason. So all of these obstacles, I can get over them. I just need to be strong and I need to be grateful.
So then when you first cut down some days at the restaurant job, did it scare you?
It did. I'm like, okay, this bill's due tomorrow and I don't really know what I'm going to do. But, you know, it always works out. Even if I have to pay a bill late, I'm hella late on my bills to be here. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Because, you know, for me to miss out on this experience and, you know, sit down with you to just work my restaurant job and pay my bills on time, those bills are always going to be there until I'm rich. Until I'm rich. It's happening.
So then how important is money to you then?
It's not. Like, I get it. Money is necessary. And I'm really, like, money is one of my goals this year. But it's not to be rich. It's to have freedom. And freedom to just do what I love and give my parents freedom to live their life a little bit better so they don't have to stress out. It's all about freedom. And I get it. Like, once I dive more into this music thing, there's not going to be much. However, I'll be doing what I love. I won't be strapped to a server job.
Yeah.
And I can help my mom figure out her passions, because I feel like the generation before us, they were so stressed about money and so stressed about taking care of their kids that they had really early and they didn't get to do all the things they wanted. I feel like, you know, my mom and my dad, just everybody in my life, they have so many passions that they don't know that they can really explore.
What were your parents doing as jobs then?
My mom is an insurance claimer. My dad was in the Army, but he's retired, and now he works at like a trucking company. My mom, her and I just had like a really long talk, and she was saying, you know, I think, you know, one of my purposes is to like be a mentor. And I was like, okay, like that's another step. Like, instead of you thinking about like, I just need to pay this bill or my credit needs to be good. Like, people place so much value in themselves based on their fiscal like status. And I think it's terrible. Like, yes, it's important, but passion, maybe it's because I'm an artist, but I just feel like what you're passionate about, what you love, what you feel in your soul to do is so much more important.
Yeah.
So basically, I just want that money so I can quit my job and just be in the studio and just, you know, live this life, actually. So yeah.
Then how do you, without making too much money off of music right now, how do you survive on a day-to-day?
Well, I live at home for now. But so that's great. But yeah, like, I just make what I have to make, essentially, which is not hard on like 4 days at my job. it's difficult, again, because in Pennsylvania, I can't really do much. And whenever I save money, I go to New York, and it's all blown in like 2 seconds. But I'm moving to New York in like 2-3 weeks.
Yay!
So it's lit.
Shout out Lauren.
Yeah, really, honestly. She's younger than me, but she's like my second mom for this music thing, you know what I'm saying? Oh,
It is what it is.
But yeah, so just gonna get on my feet over in New York and be close to my resources and really start to make moves and not get stuck in the small town. I'm always be a small town girl. I'm always gonna have some type of humility when it comes to that. I won't forget where I came from, but it's time.
Yeah.
So
because I think it takes a certain person to actually get out of their town in order to grow. Coming from the Bay Area, a lot of the artists end up not growing because they just don't move anywhere.
Right.
Like right now, the biggest artists out the Bay Area are Kehlani and G-Eazy. Well, G-Eazy went to New Orleans, and he became a fucking pop star.
Right.
And then Kehlani just had like her own voice and like kept on moving between LA and the Bay, and like, what, she got signed too after that, right, Jazz? Yeah.
She's above ground, and they run their own shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's the fact that they were able to break out from their small towns of the Bay Area and just move forward, realize that, like, no, you can be, like, for you can be Hershey famous, you can be Pennsylvania famous, but, like, that in the grand scheme of things is not really anything.
Yeah, and that's something that I definitely aim for. Like, I felt like I was a big fish in a small pond. So I wanted to be able to prove to myself that I could shine in a place where there are so many stars, you know? And, you know, it sucks because I do know so many talented people, so many talented artists, like, from my hometown. But it's also, I think they're scared to take leaps of faith. And I think they're scared of the unknown. And that's what I think a lot of people's problems are. Like, but at the end of the day, nobody knows anything. Like, we don't know how our lives are going to go. So why not just follow your heart? I mean, that sounds so corny. I'm sorry.
For real. Shout out Disney for engraving that in our heads, like, for the past 20 years or so.
But it's like, if you're not searching for your purpose, if you're not searching for what is right here and just following whatever society tells you to do, like, you're just going to end up like the people that you don't want to be like. So, you know, it is what it is.
Do you have a lot of friends? Because I actually have a lot of friends who hate their jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Back home.
Yeah, most definitely. My family, my dad, my mom, my friends. You know, I hear them. They're like, oh, yeah, like, this is a great job. Like, yeah, I make money. But then it's like, at the end of the day, you hate that job. You hate getting up for that. Like, and yes, a lot of people hate that job, especially my coworkers. Let's not talk about that. But yeah, and again, that's another obstacle that they're going through, that they're choosing to go through. But, you know, when you break the chains from that, you start to see things differently.
So then when was the first time you went to New York?
Like,
for business purposes.
New York, for business purposes. Well, I went to school there. So that was probably the first time for that, I guess. When I really started getting into business stuff was probably 2017. And I don't really have meetings like that or anything, but I'm working on it. Definitely working on it. I remember there was this one time I went to Atlantic, and I walked out of the building, and I look around, and, like, I see the Wicked sign, and I'm like, wow, I have a picture in 2009, my first time ever in New York, like, ever. And I was, like, a little tourist. And I was like, I have a picture right there, and I'm standing right here. And it's crazy. Like, just crazy.
So it was like a 10-year challenge type
Literally
thing.
10-year challenge. I was not going to post it. But embarrassing with the peace sign and everything in front of the Wicked sign. But
you should have posted it.
I didn't have nobody to take a picture of me at the moment. So I was like, I'm going to just take this in internally and appreciate it.
Yeah, 10 years later, how did that make you feel?
Crazy. Because, again, that was a time that I didn't think I would ever be there or doing that. I didn't know what those buildings were. I didn't know I could be a singer. I was in musicals. Yeah, I loved singing since I was a child, but it was just a dream until I started working on it.
How'd you even get into singing?
I've been singing since I was I've been singing since before I could talk, which I know, again, cliche.
Out the womb.
Out the womb. Screaming. But we have a family church in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And I used to sing in church all the time. And then I started, doing music electives in school. I was in The Sound of Music in 2nd grade.
The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
That was a class?
No, I was in a high school musical.
Oh, that was a musical.
Yeah,
okay.
but they needed like little Gretel in high school, and so I tried out for it and I got it in 2nd grade. Yeah, and then I was in The Sound of Music in 9th grade as a nun, so that was fun.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been singing forever, and I remember my mom always bring this up. The first time she ever heard me sing was like probably 1st grade or something before that. And I was in the back of her Impala, and she was playing When You Believe, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. And I was singing it because, like, Prince of Egypt still to this day is one of my favorite movies. And she was like, ever since then, like, I just heard you, and it's not like you were perfect, but, like, I just felt something. And then she's been supportive as much as she can be. But, yeah, but then I got distracted with life and boys and school. And then, fast forward, 2014, 2015 is when I really started to take it seriously.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So what were the other distractions other than the boys?
Well, that was a big one. But just, I would just say life, period. My parents got, like, separated when I was, like, in 11th grade. Had to move. Had to do a whole bunch of different stuff. I actually turned down a trip to Italy to sing because I was going through, like, so much. And I think, like, I wouldn't call it depression, but it might have been. It's just at that time you don't really think about it like that. You're 17, 16. Like, you go through stress and you're just like, oh, my life is so hard, but you don't actually think it's hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, just like Prince of Egypt, I did some studying behind Prince of Egypt. And I think back to this one thing, I don't even know if it's true or not, but they said that Moses was 88 when he crossed the Red Sea. 88.
88?
Yeah. I don't know if it's true. I could be just talking some shit right now. But it's like, things take time. And, obstacles are put into your life for reasons, even the ones that you don't even remember. And they're seeds that are planted in your mind, and then they bloom at random times. And I think back to all of that, and, the Italy trip gets me tight. I was scared because I thought my boyfriend was going to cheat on me while I was over there. And I'm like, what? I was 16. But it was also because I was dealing with all of the stuff with my parents' separation. And just, being in a new, environment. And people thought that I was ghetto because I was in, like, a predominantly white school. I'm not ghetto at all. Like, the first time they met me, I was trying out for My Fair Lady, and I was in, like, a British English accent, but dealing with that stigma, kind of wearing sweatpants and being called ghetto every 3 seconds. Everything was just tough, but, I got through it, and it's a talking point, obviously.
Yeah. How did you even get through that as, like, a 16, 17-year-old? Because that's rough.
Shit.
Because, for example, like, when 9/11 happened, I ended up interviewing a lot of, like, my Muslim, like, rappers, right? Mm-hmm. And they were getting, like, backlash like crazy when they were in high school. And I was like, I couldn't imagine that because I never necessarily went through that type of shit. So you, being in Italy, darker complexion, being called ghetto.
Well, not being in Italy, being in the school that I went to is called Anvil. And it looks like a huge farm. And there are just there are not a lot of black people.
Yeah.
And not only that, I was, like, dating, like, one of the bad guys or whatever. So, but I wasn't even like that. So yeah, just being called ghetto, it made me mad. And it was coming from people who were ignorant. They didn't mean to be, but they just were. And I ended up, getting in a fight with one of my friends because he had the audacity to say the N word with the hard R in front of me because somebody cut him off in traffic. And I was like, do you understand that I'm black? Like, it's just not even that, but, like, saying that and having that in your vocabulary and being so quick to use it as a negative
connotation.
It's terrible. Like, it's so terrible. So, but I'm not going to big up my problems like they are as much as other people's, because I really have been blessed, you know. Regardless, both my parents did love me regardless of whatever they went through, and I had a good solid foundation, and I know that a lot of people don't. I try to sympathize as much as possible. I really do care about people in general. So what I want to do is just, I'm not going to take people's stories and like do anything about it, but I just want to be an inspiration for people, and just knowing regardless of whatever I go through, hard, easy, whatever, that you make it through, and you make it through even better than before. That's kind of how I had to get through it. And music.
Yeah. It seems like you have a really open mind to things.
I do.
And you try to understand things as much as possible.
It's tough sometimes, because I be thinking way too much all the time. Just all the time. Like, but it's just interesting. I think I haven't always been this open-minded, but like now that I am, like, other people just seem so much more interesting to me, because, you know, I'm learning about them in a more open realm and taking in whatever they can learn from me and giving them whatever I can give them. So
when something like somebody saying the N-word with a hard ER at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like any other things that might grind your gears. How do you take those situations now? Are you like completely pissed off at that point, or do you kind of just like absorb it and just give them the benefit of the doubt that they don't know better?
I'm not going to say I absorb it. I definitely chalk it up to just ignorance at first. And I like say something about it, but I'm not saying it in an angry way, because I feel like I'm like a very middle ground person. Like, I try to understand everything and not be like a just super, super strong opinion and not take anything. I remember one of my friends, this little white boy, he said it, and I was like, how does that make you feel when you say that? And he was like, well, why do you ask? And I'm just like, you know, it's just understanding that the climate that we're in and understanding the power that you have for you to say that. I know that you don't mean anything maliciously, but, you know, it's kind of like not like a slap in the face, but it's like you're taking kind of just like a thing that is not yours. When you have so many other things, like, just don't say one word. But, you know, after that, he was like, you know, I really am trying to like be better and not say it. You know, it's a habit too, so it's something that you have to break, especially if you're doing it and nobody's correcting you.
Yeah.
And it's not my place to correct people either. I don't know everything. But just to kind of put that thought into his head so he can think about it, and if he feels like he's right, do your thing. I can't do anything if I disagree. But just saying it kind of makes me feel better, hope at least.
Well, I think it goes back to planting the seed. Then one day it'll bloom.
Seed, yes, most definitely, most definitely.
So your unreleased song, Permission.
Yes.
How'd that come about?
Let me think about this, because I've been writing so much lately, so much. I'm so excited because I have so many good songs. I'm just ready to record. I'm just ready to get in the studio. Permission. Honestly, I just heard this beat on YouTube and I was like, wow. Like,
that was a YouTube beat?
Yeah, all of them except for I See and You Wasn't. I worked with this boy, Justin Waves. Shout out Justin Waves. That's my boy. But other than that, like, a lot of it's from YouTube.
Damn.
Yeah, a lot of it. Not now. I'm working with other people now.
Oh, okay.
But when I did that, yeah. So, and like, people scare me when they're like, oh, you know, everybody has that beat now. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. They're not going to do it as good as me. So it don't even matter.
You better buy the claims on all that.
You're right. But it does scare me, but I couldn't. It was irresistible to me. And it reminded me of Sabrina Claudio's song, Stand Still. I don't know if you've ever heard it.
I haven't heard that one.
It's a really great song, really great song. I was in my Sabrina Claudio bag when I heard this beat, and I was like, my goodness, like, I need to write to this. I need to. And I was like, okay, well, I was thinking about Sabrina, and I'm like, okay, I shouldn't write to the song because it reminds me of Sabrina. I should write to it because I want to, and I'm gonna say what I have to say. So, put my little spin on it, and I'll be rapping low key. I feel like I write like a rapper sometimes.
It sounded like you were getting there a little bit.
Yeah, like with all of my songs, I'm trying to make myself say less words so I can actually sing.
Shout out Blueface.
Yeah, try to stay in time. Try to be effective without saying too much. But yeah, and the more I listened to that song, the more ideas came in my head with the harmonies. I was like, no, this is great. And I've shown people, and they're like, maybe it should be shorter. Blah blah blah.
It was like a 6-minute song, huh?
It's like 5 minutes. Listen, people said that Bedroom Eyes should have been shorter, and maybe it should have been. But I feel like, why? Like, why? Like, if your attention span is that bad that you can't go through a 5-minute song.
Yeah.
And maybe if you don't like it, that's cool. But when I was growing up, I loved over dramatic, long R&B songs. Like, that was my thing. And I don't want to change that.
Well, I think the thing about Permission, too, it wasn't like chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus,
Right.
verse. There was like some space to actually breathe.
Right, exactly. And it just gave me the freedom to play with it. And I want to make this music shit fun. And so what if it's long? Like, it's good.
Like on Channel Orange, right? You listen to Channel Orange, like
Of course,
Pyramids is like 10 minutes long.
That was crazy. But like, if you didn't stay there and be in that moment, then you would have completely missed the second part. That's when I first listened to it. I was like, what is this? And then literally just skipped it. But then like you go back and you're like, wow. And one of my favorite songs actually is The Line by Division.
Okay.
And that's, I don't know, 8-7 minutes.
Jesus.
But, and like literally the last minute and a half, 2 minutes is like nothing. Like it's essentially just like harmonizing.
It puts you in a mood.
But it puts you in a mood. Like when, I'd be high sometimes. I'd be drinking wine. I'd be in my bag. And like I hear these stuff like this and it really makes me feel something. So, doesn't have to be everybody's taste. But the people who appreciate it, the people who like me, like, it's good.
Well, I think people get so caught up in just trying to make like radio hits, and radio hits is really just like chorus, verse, something that's like very catchy and can like last for people's very short attention spans.
Right.
But I think the artistry in it, especially coming as a new artist, comes down to like experimentation, and you see what becomes like, you see what you're really comfortable with and how you can expand that comfortability.
Right. I just watched Bohemian Rhapsody on the flight over here.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch that.
Oh
is
my
it still in
gosh, it
theaters?
is so good. No, I don't think it is. I think it might be on like HBO. I don't know.
Oh,
I
shit,
think
okay.
I think it's available. But I didn't even know I knew what it was about, but I didn't know it was going to be the way it was. And essentially it's, just artistry and just, how they came up and the business behind everything. And when they brought up Bohemian Rhapsody, the guy hated it. He was like, this is terrible. Like, this is just all over the place. It's way too long. The radio will never take it. It's going to be terrible. And when they dropped it, like, they did have a lot of flack for it. But it's on the radio now, even now. Like, and people look at that song like that was a testament. They did something completely different. They didn't care what anybody else thought. It was their artistry. They stood by it. And I respect that. And I almost was watching it, and I'm like, yes. Like, I'm not shortening Permission. I don't care. I'm not shortening my shit for anybody because I put love behind all those layers and all this stuff. So somebody got to feel it.
Were you having, aside from, like, initially having Sabrina, Claudio in mind, who were you having in mind while writing Permission?
Janae Aiko. I always think about Janae. Janae's like one of my main inspirations. Yeah, you? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's so great. Like, and a lot of people compare me to her because she has like this soft voice, but it's still super effective, and like her lyrics really hit. Like, and that's kind of how I started everything. I started really, really writing around 2012, 2013.
Okay.
And like that's when like she came out with Sail Out. I think that was the EP. And Bed Peace, amazing. The whole project. I still to this day like way too, like WTH, like all of it. And it's just like, I don't have to be a singer, or I don't like, I write a lot. I was a lit major. I like English. I like writing, and I like writing what I really feel. And, you know, thinking back to her and how she still does that, and she's just so in tune with herself, like, I definitely think about her. Who else do I think about? I think about SZA, because SZA is real, and that's something that I'm really trying to be. I would say probably for, like, the start of my career, I tried to be perfect. Like, that was a problem.
What did that mean?
It's just even in life, like, trying to be, like, soft enough, sweet enough, pretty enough, say all the right things, do all the right things. And it was detrimental to me, because I'm like, if it's not perfect, I'm not dropping it. If it's not perfect, I'm not doing it. And it sucked, because nothing was ever perfect. Like, and this was around my depression time, too. I'm, like, literally so anxious, because I'm like, nothing I do is good enough. And I'm like, no, it is. It's not about being better, worse, nothing. It's about just being me.
Yeah.
And figuring out a way to work it out. And I feel like SZA, you know, she gives off that vibe. Like, it's okay to just be.
There's very few people who really give that, especially in R&B right now. Like, I will say the SZAs and the Jhené Aikos definitely do that.
Like, yeah. So definitely the vibe I'm going for. And I don't have to be, you know, the best, or I don't have to be mainstream or any of that, because honestly, what is mainstream anymore? Like, what is mainstream anymore?
A mustard beat?
Nah.
At least on the West Coast, it's a mustard beat.
Nah, I fuck with mustard though.
But no, I do too.
I still listen to, I don't know if you ever heard his 10 Summers album, Giuseppe, the song Giuseppe with 2 Chainz. I don't know, you gotta listen to it. It's a real good song.
See, I was listening to the Ready EP with LMA.
Oh, okay.
That shit was just like all mustard beats, and I was like, yo, this shit's a whole banger. But to me, it was kind of like just LMA.
I really have to pee because of this boba tea.
You want to go really quick?
Can I?
Yeah, you can.
Ah,
go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
Right now, so this is probably the 3rd monologue in all of the lunch table history. So you guys have to bear with me for maybe like a minute or two. Yeah, we're still rolling. It's all good. Yeah. No, we don't stop for anything. Dude, last week we were drinking vodka shots? Tequila shots. That shit was bad. Yeah, it was really bad.
Like that? What time was this?
Around this time. Yeah, it was bad. But I heard Bri Marie just flushing the toilet right now, so you know that's a good sign for my. Yeah, that was super quick. Usually ladies be taking hella long in the restroom. Like, I think that's like a perk for being a dude. To be quite frank, we just go in and out. It's quick.
We gotta levitate over like public toilets and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole routine. Right.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that was quick.
Listen, I wasn't trying to make you wait.
We were over here talking about, like, men and women using toilets and all that shit. Yeah.
What was the conversation?
How, like, it's a lot easier for men to use a restroom because it's just, like, in and out. It's quick. And there's, like, way more urinals than there are, like, actual toilets.
Can we actually talk about the fact that how hard it is when you're on a 3.5 hour ride somewhere, or you're anything and you just can't pull it out and just go nowhere? Like, so many techniques that I have to.
Dude, it was just...
Oh, my gosh.
It wasn't even that long. It was just like 2 weeks ago or something. I had seen, I think this mom had pulled over on the side of the road. It was like on the 5, which is the longest like interstate road in California. And like they just had their kid just like pull it out and just like.
Oh.
And I was like, yo, like, that's insane. I didn't know you could do that.
Right.
You better hurry up.
No, but they make these attachments for women now, don't they? Yeah. Where like you can turn yourself into a funnel, essentially, like a dick. Oh,
yeah. I was thinking of like other attachments.
No. This guy. Okay, back to it.
Okay,
Sorry,
attachments.
We were talking about DJ
LMA.
Mustard. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing that R&B is really missing is the fact that like R&B back then was just like so slow. And you really had time to like get in your feels and get in the mood. And it was just yesterday when I was going through the surgence of like 80s remixes of songs, right? And this one remix that stuck out to me was like I Feel It Coming by The Weeknd in like an 80s version. And when it was much slower.
Really?
And it was more sensual. And I was like, I think this is what R&B is missing. Just the fact that like people are able to listen to it at a slower pace, longer songs, and really just
take
like,
it in.
Yeah, just take it in.
Yeah, just take it in. And you know, I'm here for an upbeat song every once in a while, but again, people don't have the attention span to really stay. And you know, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Like, sometimes it's hard for me to sit through a project now. Sometimes it's hard for me to sit through a song right now. But I'm forcing myself to do so because I feel like I'm not doing myself justice in listening to a song if I'm not really listening to it, really taking it in.
Then do you think it makes it that much more difficult for you to be an artist who is okay with wanting to make songs a lot slower?
It's tough. And that was a struggle I had with Permission. I'm like, maybe I should make it shorter. But I'm like, no. Because if I drop it shorter, then I'm not going to be happy with it. And it's going to feel incomplete. Like, you know, like, it won't feel complete to me. I already tried to cut a minute off. And I'm like, no, this isn't it. And, you know, I listened to the Joe Budden podcast. And I think this is what helped me, too. Like, he sometimes he hates on Summer Walker. I don't really like the hate on Summer Walker, but he like talks about, he's like, literally the songs are like 30 seconds. Like, what, I feel like I'm not getting enough. And her philosophy is like, I said what I had to say, and that's it. And I respect that most definitely. With me, like, you know, my dad was also like a DJ too, and it's just over dramatic. I guess I'm just over dramatic, so I don't really care about the length. I don't really care about that. It's about the dramatics of the song and getting a feeling out of it. So it is what it is. Like I said, like, I do feel some sense of urgency and some obligation to care about the consumer. I do. But I also can't let it affect my artistry. So it's being myself and turning it into the game of whatever I have to do.
Yeah.
So this isn't the only long song I have on the next project. Trust me. But they're great songs. They're great songs.
When do you plan on dropping your next project this year?
I'm praying. I wanted to drop it last year, but you know, things happen. But now I'm very focused on getting it done. I was planning on dropping an album actually, but I have come up with so many ideas. Beyonce, she says, like, whenever she gets into the studio to record an album, she never knows how it's going to be until the end. And when I started my idea of an album, I was like, I'm not here for it. And then I chopped everything into, like, an EP, an album, and then an EP after that. So I have plans. It's just a matter of, you know, getting in the studio and executing them, which I'm super focused on this year. I would like to drop the project in May. Hopefully.
Why May?
Realistically speaking, I would drop it right now if I could. But it's
gotcha.
it's just in terms of recording, getting the songs done, making sure they're all mixed and mastered, doing the promotion for it, like a short little calendar, trying to be organized. But you kind of have to think about that. But again, it's just like the money thing. How am I getting in the studio and mixing these songs and getting these beats? And, you know, it's tough, but I'm not going to let it stop me.
Amen to that. Bri Marie, everybody.
Hey. I really appreciate this. You're mad
I appreciate
cool or
you
whatever.
coming through.
Of course.
You have a mouthpiece.
Oh, my
And I love it.
I know. I be talking a lot.
Bri Marie, where can everybody find you and your music?
Anywhere. Apple Music, Spotify, all the major streaming platforms, and all the small ones too. Audio Mac. Shout out Audio Mac.
Dat Piff?
Dat Piff.
No?
I don't know. I have to get back to you on that one. But yeah, you can just find me on Instagram, Bri Marie Music. Twitter, I'll be talking a lot of shit. I'm just gonna stop that. But Bri Marie Music _. Yeah, just type in Bri Marie. Should definitely be there.
Bri Marie.
BRI space MARIE. Pretty basic, but that don't mean nothing.
So now there's one more question I want to ask you.
What's
How
up?
come you didn't go with like some random name that wasn't like your name.
You really want to go through this with me?
I'm down.
Okay. I mean, I probably should have, honestly, but here's the process of my name. My first name was Brianna, just Brianna, because that's my name. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Dropped my EP the first time under Brianna, and then I saw that there's some Brazilian artist named Brianna, and all of my music was under her stuff.
Oh,
and I'm
God.
like, oh, no, this can't be happening. No. So took it off. I was like, oh, what's another name? I was like, how can I modify Brianna? So then I put Brix space ANNA. It was the same thing. It was the same thing, just, the X would be silent. That didn't work because everybody's calling me Bricks.
Brixana.
Brixana. People still to this day, just to make me mad, will call me Bricks. But that would have been a different one.
I'm gonna fuck you up with a Bricks
with
text
the
one
Bricks.
time.
They're like, they definitely will not think I'm an R&B singer if they call me Bricks. But then I was like, I can't do that. That's gonna irritate me, even though I probably shouldn't have let it irritate me. I was young. And then I was like, what can I do that kind of like embodies me? And, Bri Marie, like, Marie's my middle name, like it's basic, whatever. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? It's basic. It's simple. A lot of people have the name Bri Marie, but I'm playing off the simplicity and playing off of being real and just being myself. So
That's what I figured.
yeah.
That's what I figured. I like that though.
I mean, I'm learning how to work with it, even though at first it wasn't that, but, working.
Amen to that. Well, everybody, make sure you follow Bri Marie and check out her Beginnings EP.
And the song's coming out very soon.
Yay!
Yes.
This is The Lunch Table, Food for Thought. I'm Nico Blitz. Peace out, everybody.